Okay, in this clip I'm going to be introducing you to the Raising Attainment program, and this is for tutors. So I'm looking at the tutor's handbook here, and if I scroll down, the first thing we want to notice are the two goals of the Footprints Raising Attainment program, and those are to accelerate student learning outcomes by facilitating a higher quality of dialogue between the student and their tutor. So we're interested in improving dialogue between the student, their tutor and their teachers, and the second outcome is to enable students to select the optimal learning mindset for a subject or a task. And as we go through these clips, we'll find out exactly what we mean by optimal learning mindset. I'm going to scroll down to the second page now and just talk briefly about the background to this program. I want to just show you this chart here. This is a screenshot of the Education Endowment Foundation website, which was set up by the Sutton Trust with government money in 2011 to research the most effective interventions in accelerating the progress of students. And the two highest ranking interventions were the quality of feedback between a pupil and their teacher, and the ability of students to have metacognition and self-regulation over their learning. In other words, to understand what they are seeking to learn and to have cognitive strategies to achieve that. That's very important because if we remember back to our goals for the Footprints Raising Attainment program, they are to improve the quality of feedback and to enable students to have a higher quality of metacognition by choosing the optimal thinking and learning mindsets for their subject lessons here. So those are our goals, and they're fitting in directly with the highest benefiting interventions identified by the government's body, the Education Endowment Foundation. Now, the Raising Attainment program works by the students doing initially a series of online assessments about the thinking and learning strategies that they're currently using in their different subject environments. And there are 7 thinking and learning factors which are measured, and here's the list of them here. I'm not going to read them out, but there are descriptions, definitions about what each of those 7 mean. And from that data that is collected from the pupils, and it's very important to recognize that it is the pupil's voice, the student's own voice, that is generating that data. So this data about how students are thinking, the mindset they're using, is not coming from teachers' observations, classroom observations, but it is coming through the online Footprints Raising Attainment assessments that the students themselves are doing. So they are giving us feedback. They take about an hour, and students will be doing those in an ICT lesson. From that student data that we will collect, we are going to generate 2 independent separate reports. The first report that's going to come from that data is going to be a report for the subject teacher. So if we are assessing the student's mindset in maths, for example, then their maths teacher will get a report that is generated from the data of that individual pupil, and will show them the mindset that the students are adopting in their lessons. Not only will it show them that numerically in terms of a scale and a score, which we will explain in the teacher's clip, but it will also give them feedback and advisory suggestions to enable them to very specifically support and then challenge their students in order to help them move forward. Now, as a tutor, you won't receive that report because that's going to be for their teachers. But what you will receive is the second report that is generated from that student assessment that your tutee will have undertaken. And from that, you will receive a report against those 7 different factors that we've listed above. And that report which I'm highlighting here, and which we're going to go through in detail, will show you the students' specific results across their assessed subjects, so across their curriculum. So if we've assessed, for example, English, maths, science, and another subject, then it will show you their mindset that they are using when they engage in those subjects, and how those scores vary. From that, we are going to look in greater detail at the feedback and the suggestions that are then made to help those students to better choose the optimal mindset for those different subjects, for those different learning activities. So the principle here is that the students will receive feedback in the form of a report that you as their tutor will handle, and in a conversation with them, or a series of conversations over the course of the 10 weeks of the intervention, you will help them to work with the feedback to improve their mindset in their different lessons. So what we have in the Footprints Raising Attainment program are two parallel reports which are created. One for the teacher, which will help the teacher understand the child and their needs, and one for the student, which will help them understand their own needs. And together they work as two vehicles which enable the teacher and the student to talk to each other, to have a better quality of conversation with each other about how that student can take a step forward. Now, that conversation and how that is facilitated is what we're going to go on to in the next clips, but fundamentally the Raising Attainment program is about enabling the student to improve the mindset that they are using by understanding what the optimal mindset is and how they can move towards it, and enabling a higher quality of conversation between them and their teachers by giving them the literacy, the words if you like, to start that conversation about what they're trying to do with their teacher, and at the same time priming the teacher to be able to anticipate and receive the conversation that the student is having with them by giving the teacher a report on the student so that they understand the needs that the student has as well.